Hi guys, it's my first video. It's called Book Self. I think that was supposed to be called. You can read that. So today, I'm going to talk about the book series that I really adore, and it's going to be like a Netflix series soon. So let me grab it here. So what I'm talking about is the Shadow and Bone series. I think a lot of people already read that, and it have been like one of the favorites, if I know it right, because I'm going through Twitters and stuff, and people are like love it. But I think they loved the Six of Crows more, but I kind of leaning towards the original trilogy. So firstly, what is it about? So it's about a girl. She was in an orphanage and she was drafted into the military of this kingdom that this fantasy world was created. It's called Ravka. It was like they're inspired from the Russian Ravka kingdom. They have this so-called like magic user, a witches, but they didn't call it magic. They call it a small science. I think I read from somewhere that the writers was explaining that the reason why she didn't call it magic because it's magic is look like something that you can just poof and then something was gonna happen, and this small science, by calling them the small science, meaning that they have to put something in to the magic, so they need to practice and like master it. And there are three orders of this army. They divided it into three armies. They categorize the magic into like three big things. The one is the order of the summoner, where they can control fire, wind, and water. And the other one, the second one, is I think it's called the orders of life and death or something like that. So what they do is that they can control the organs of your body. Some could use it as a weapon, but some can use it as a kind of like a healing abilities. And the other one, it's material key or something along that line. So, and they are good with like a poison or like a chemical properties, and also like they control the glass, the rocks, the tree branches. About that girl, and she was drafted as a map maker, and then there was something happen to her when she was entering the fold. The fold, it's kind of like a dark dimension, like a wall that have been separating this country into two. Like nobody can enter it, and then when you have to enter it, you either have to pass it and like, or maybe you have to like go the other way around, because when you enter these dark dimension, they going to be like a monster inside, and then it's super dangerous. Like it's not ideal for traveling, or put it like that. So one of her mission, I'm not sure whether it's her first or not because I've read it last year, she have to like go into the flow with her childhood's friend. He's good with tracker. He is one of her love interests, and she was there, and then she kind of discovered her abilities, and her ability was like something that hasn't been discovered for a really long time. It's probably like she was the first one that used this kind of power. They call her the sun summoner. So basically she can control lights, to put it like very simple. And she was taken to the to Rafka, and then there are conflicts happening. There are like politics that people want to use her, or there are someone who's like worship her, someone who like want to cure her. There a lot of things happen in that series, and it was so good. I think that the first book I probably finished in like 2 or 3 days. It was so good. The reason why I like it so much because I think Alina was a very reasonable heroine. She and the books itself doesn't have like romantic scenes that much, which to my liking, I didn't really like the romantic scenes. So she was like, I love her, and I also love her power because it was very like flashy. She control lights, that's why it's flashy, and it's like to see her as a orphan girl, and then she evolved into like a figure of a myth, or so like a hate of a state even for some people. That evolutions was amazing, and the cast of characters that we met, all of them are super interesting. The villain, it's bad. He is bad. There's a twist. I will not tell you who, but I think everybody's already know who's gonna be the villain. But yeah. So, and the supporting cast, her friends, and the one who went on with her on the journey was also really good. Everybody have like a room to play, and they have like a moment they can shine. So, and about the diversity, we also see like both like males and females, and also peoples of color, and also we have the LGBTs couple as a side couple too. In the Six of Crow, which is a spin-off of this book, we have one main LGBT couples, but to them we're gonna talk about the theory. So I think they have a lot, like it was very modern. I have people asking me like to compare it to Lord of the Rings. I didn't read Lord of the Rings because I think it was a little bit hard to read for me. I usually read YA, but yeah, you could probably understand my reasoning. So, but I watched the movie, so the only thing I can compare with them is that this book, it was a fantasy that was made in our era. The people in it, the topics they are discussing about is very modern. It was very like along the line with what was happening in our world. So I think that was kind of very refreshing in fantasy era. And also the good thing about this book is that it keep you guessing and what's gonna happen next. Like I think Lei, which is the writer, Lei Bardugo, what she did good was that she was kind of gonna set up something in the story, and then she's kind of flip it. Like she was setting it up, and then you expect something to happen it like this, but then along the way she was just gonna like flip it, and then you would be like, oh my god, what's happening? I think that was what keeping people, including me, hooked to the book. So okay, speaking about the TV shows, in less than a month Netflix will put it out, the first seasons of Shadows and Bone, which is a combination of Shadows and Bones and the Six of Crow series. What I like as far as I saw is that they made Alina Asian. It's like half Shu. So in the story, there's a country called Shu, which based on, I believe it's China or Mongol, around that area mixed together. And the reason they choose her to be half Shu and half Afghan, I think it's very interesting. We didn't really see Asian lead in this type of story. When you think about like a fantasy story, when you see it on like TV or movie, it was usually like a white man or a white girl. I think we saw a lot of white men in this type of story. So to have an Asian lead, that was so refreshing. And I think moving forward, we have to like do this a lot so that people would see Asian people more. And the thing is that the setting of this whole books, it wasn't like in like a mystical exotic country where she used like a kung fu power or like she's a great martial artist or like a ninja or something like that. She is like Jean Grey or Wanda kind of characters. That's why I liked her so much, because I love those women characters. They are so strong, like super strong and so powerful. That's why I think Alina could be like compared to those types of characters like Jean Grey, like Wanda. That's why I like her so much. And I think that the series was gonna attract a lot of people, and I think that a lot of people are going to like look for this book. So it's good that we would have more fans to like come in and enjoy this whole series as a fandom, because I think it could be as big as Harry Potter. Like you could, in Harry Potter, you would choose like a house, with house you would like to go, and this book, I think you would want it to like choose like what kind of powers do you want. For me, I want to be like in the summoning order, of course. I wanted to control like water. That's what I always wanted to do, but control like waters and wind and thunder, that was like a storm. There I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a one character that kind of like have that quality, and I really like her. She's one of the main characters. Her name is Soya, and she is so good. She's like, when you saw her, okay, just gonna talk about her. When you saw her, it's like she's like basically like a mean girl, and she was like an ice queen, and she was like looking down on the main girl Alina a lot. But then after the story progressed, she is becoming, should I tell you this? But yeah, she's becoming more of an ally to Alina, and she shows a lot of side to her, and like her powers are amazing too. Okay, this is my rants about this book. So if you wanted to buy it, I think you could go to like the local bookstore. Here in Thailand, we only have 2 shops. We only have Asia Books and Kinokuniya, and I think they would have that because the series is about to air. And I will just show you the first 3, what it looks like, because when you go to the store, you can just, I don't know, show this video to them, or maybe like tell them about the book. So the first one is called Shadow and Bone. This is the first one in the series. And the second one, the second one, the green one with the serpent, the sea serpent on the cover is called Siege and Storm. This is the second book. And the third one with the Firebird, a phoenix. It's Ruin and Rising. It's a great series. I mean, it was so good. I mean, a lot of people have like a misconception or like an idea of what young adult novel or series should be like, but I think that this series particularly, and also like its spin-off, The Six of Crows, and also like the sequel, I'll talk about that later, will surprise people, because when you think of a young adult book, maybe you would think about like Twilight. Sorry if someone loved Twilight, it's not really kind of my thing. You would be very surprised of how the story progressed and how it was very, very good. Like, yeah, I can't say enough how much I really love this series, okay? I think I have to, yeah, I think I should stop now. Thank you so much if you saw me ranting a lot about the books I love, and you can do like a, if you like, you can do like a book recommendations, and then I wouldn't say I read a lot. Like, I didn't read like 1,000 books, but probably it's 100. I especially like fantasy because I loved it so much. Especially like the fantasy that have magic or witches in. That's what something I was always going for. If you have like a recommendation, or if you wanted to, I don't know, recommended me something to read, that would be great. Okay, I'll see you later on to the next video if there's enough people watching this. Or maybe I'll just make it anyway because I have like no one to talk to about this book, and ranting to random people on not Facebook, on YouTube, it's the next best thing. Okay, see you soon, bye bye.